Phony Kamala Harris. It's got a great ring to it. The Trump campaign just came out with a new ad that labels Kamala Harris as phony, which I think is a perfect nickname for her. Because you know how President Trump loves to give nicknames to his political rivals. Well, today I'm going to be going over the top 5 reasons as to why Kamala Harris is phony. Number 5. She says Black Lives Matter, but she stood down while her office blocked new DNA evidence in a case for a black man that was on death row.
She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so.
How is working with people like the people from the Innocence Project, you know, people who take new DNA techniques and then use that and apply it to evidence from old cases in order to help get innocent people out of jail? How is that not a priority for her? I mean, her excuse was, oh, you know, I just couldn't have possibly known about that. So, look, either she's a liar or she really sucks at her job. Neither of which is a good look because she's a phony. Number 4, she locked up over 1,500 people for smoking weed and then went on the Breakfast Club and bragged about how she smoked weed.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
Was it a blunt or joint?
It was a joint.
Hey,
Yeah.
You remember the high?
I do.
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song was it?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac, for sure.
Phony. Number 3. She said she believes Biden's accusers, but has no problem being his running mate.
Somebody who has a relationship with Vice President Biden, what message would you give to the women who feel like their space has been invaded in the past by the Vice President?
I believe them, and I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it.
She doesn't just believe it, she knows it. There's plenty of video evidence of him touching women, and more importantly, children inappropriately on video. If this is what he does with kids on camera, what do you think he does with kids off camera? Kamala believes Biden's accusers. She just doesn't care. And that's what makes her a phony. But Kamala Harris has a long history of ignoring victims. According to an article at Breitbart, Kamala Harris failed to prosecute priest sex abuse cases despite victims' pleas. However, she had no problem taking close to $60,000 from affiliated people and groups. Number 2, she knows Biden's a racist. She just doesn't care.
And by the way, what you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
As also noted, Robert C. Byrd was a parliamentary library, a keeper of the institution of the Senate, and he was the institution itself. But to me, and many people here today, like guys I see, Bill Bradley and Jim Sasser, who've long left the Senate for greener pastures, for a lot of us, he was a friend, and he was a mentor, and he was a guide.
Oh, I know. He changed. The exalted cyclops of the KKK, he changed. He's not racist anymore. Really? Well, here he is in 2001. Not that many years before Biden's glowing eulogy.
There are white niggers. I've seen a lot of white niggers in my time. I'm going to use that word.
So you want me to believe what? That Robert Byrd had some sort of deathbed conversion? No. See, there was no great switch. The parties never switched. The Democrats have embraced racism and slavery and segregation, the KKK, Jim Crow, lynchings, all that from way back then until today. They're still doing it. I mean, even Kamala, she pointed out that Biden fought against integration.
But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
And people are like, oh, no, it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. I am holding him accountable. I am holding his feet to the fire. And because she won't, that's what makes her a phony. And the number one reason why phony is an excellent nickname for Kamala Harris is because she's pro-slavery.
She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California.
Imagine this. You made a mistake, but you paid your debt to society. And today is your release day. But that day comes and goes because Kamala is in charge. You're a free man, but you're going to keep working and working and working and working. You have to be pure evil to do this to people.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
Yeah, he's talking about Kamala. Just because Mass is black doesn't mean you are not a slave. In 2014, she ran the same scam that they did in the 1860s after emancipation. Lock up people for minor infractions, ones that she herself giggles about committing, and then just keep them there and use them as slave labor. But Black Lives Matter though, right? Phony. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and please share it. You can help us continue to fight in the war against disinformation by donating at paypal.me/rightleftofcenter and at subscribestar.com/rightleftofcenter. I'm Right from Right Left of Center, and if you're watching, you're probably right too.